6 weeks before her wedding, Samantha answered her mother's call, and the first tearful sentence was a demand disguised as a crisis.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm so happy. William proposed last night. He wants a small ceremony on the same day as your wedding. So you'll have to move yours. Family comes first. You understand, don't you?
Samantha didn't react. The sweetness in her mother's voice sharpened into a blade.
His fiancée is Rachel. She's just darling. I know you'll adore her.
The name hit Samantha like a fist. She hung up without a word.
Rachel. My Rachel. The maid of honor who's been planning this wedding with me for 9 months. This can't be real.
She opened FaceTime and found Rachel's contact. Her thumb hovered over the call button. She pressed call. The ringing began, each tone pulling the knot in her stomach tighter. 3 rings. 4. Somewhere, Rachel's phone was lighting up with the call that would explode everything. Rachel answered on the 5th ring, her smile fading when she saw Samantha's expression.
Rachel, are you engaged to my brother William?
For one terrible second, Rachel didn't respond. Then she burst out laughing.
Engaged? To William? I haven't seen him since Christmas 2019. Who told you that?
My mother. She just called. She wants me to postpone my wedding because you two are getting married.
3 days ago she called. She asked me to pretend. I said no and assumed she dropped it.
She didn't drop it. She's already told everyone.
Samantha ended the call and immediately dialed Anthony. When he picked up, she told him everything, her voice dangerously steady.
We're not postponing. Not for a lie. Not for her.
We act normal. Let her keep spinning. When she falls, everyone will see the truth.
3 days later, the first save-the-date card landed in her mailbox. A glossy photo of William and a woman who was not Rachel. The card announced, "William and Rachel invite you to celebrate their love. Saturday, June 14th, the exact same date Samantha had booked 18 months ago." Then the calls began. Relatives she had not spoken to in years suddenly had impassioned opinions. Her voicemail filled with tearful pleas and frosty ultimatums, each one insisting she move her wedding for her brother. A cousin texted, "I can't believe you're doing this. William deserves his day too. You're being so selfish."
They all believe her. They don't even see that she's the one competing, not me.
Then Donna's group message to the family. "My own daughter is refusing to move her wedding, forcing William to cancel. I'm heartbroken."
That evening, Rachel arrived with wine and takeout. She glanced at Samantha's face and said, "She's really going full telenovela, isn't she?"
Let her. I'm letting her write the whole script. Because the season finale, it's going to be spectacular.
3 more weeks of silence. 3 more weeks of evidence piling up. Donna was digging a hole, and the wedding day was rushing toward her like a freight train. The morning of the wedding, Donna called 11 times before noon. Samantha let each one ring into silence. In the bridal suite, Rachel buttoned the last pearl on Samantha's gown, their eyes meeting in the mirror.
Ready for your close-up?
I've been ready for 6 weeks.
The ceremony hall was draped in white roses. Some guests clutched the fake save-the-dates and whispered. Donna, in a pale blue suit, sat in the front row, her smile a thin veneer over something sharp. The music shifted. Rachel stepped into the aisle. Maid of honor, not bride, her bouquet trembling with each confident stride. Donna's smile shattered. Her fingers dug into the pew. The lie she'd built was collapsing in real time.
That flicker of fear in her mother's eyes was worth every silent day.
Then she turned to Anthony, and the ceremony began. The ceremony ended, but the questions didn't. As guests filed into the reception, sideways glances followed Rachel everywhere. An elderly aunt cornered Samantha near the champagne. "Why is that Rachel girl here if she's marrying William tomorrow?"
It's a complicated situation. Samantha simply refused to move her wedding.
Samantha's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. She let her mother's lie fill the room unopposed.
Rachel caught her eye from across the table and squeezed her hand. She's writing the confession herself.
Not yet. We'll let her dig a little deeper. Then I'll tell everyone the truth.
Whatever you need to say. I'm with you. Always.
As dessert plates were cleared, Samantha gave the DJ a subtle nod. The microphone was waiting.
You've got this.
I've been ready for this since the day she called.
Before dessert was served, an elderly aunt stood, holding up the save the date like a court summons.
You should have moved your date. Stealing William's spotlight is beneath you, Samantha.
Donna's face held its frozen martyrdom, silent as a chapel.
Excuse me, but tonight is about celebrating Samantha and Anthony. Let's keep it that way.
William looked up from his plate, confused. This was the first he'd heard of any wedding of his own.
He doesn't know. And she's using him. That ends tonight.
She caught Rachel's eye across the table and gave a small, grateful nod.
It's time. Tell the DJ I'm ready.
Rachel rose and walked toward the stage, her heels silent on the carpet, conversations thinned around her. Behind her, Samantha stood, smoothing the lace on her hips, the weight of 6 weeks of silence finally shifting. Samantha glided to the edge of the dance floor where Rachel waited, a silent pact passing between them.
I'm going to do it. Don't leave.
I'm right here, always.
They squeezed hands briefly, a pact sealed in lace and satin. Then Rachel strode toward the DJ. At the edge of the dance floor, Donna's glass trembled. Her eyes tracked Rachel like a hawk.
What are they doing? They can't know. It was perfect.
The DJ cut the music and tapped the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, a special message from the Maid of Honor.
Actually, Samantha would like to say a few words first.
A ripple of surprise went through the room. The aunt who had scolded Samantha looked up sharply. Samantha climbed the 3 steps to the stage, the microphone waiting like a live grenade. Samantha raised her glass. The room quieted. Her voice came out clear, unnervingly warm.
Thank you all for being here. Anthony and I are grateful beyond words.
Then her tone shifted, the warmth curdling into something sharper.
But first, I need to address something. My mother told many of you that my brother is getting married today to my best friend Rachel.
Gasps tore through the silk-lined room. Forks clattered. Every head turned.
He isn't. He never was. Rachel is my maid of honor. She's been planning this wedding for 9 months.
Donna's champagne glass shattered on the floor. Her face drained to a mask of chalk. William, seated beside her, stared at the stage as if he'd been struck.
My mother fabricated an entire engagement to try to ruin this day.
The room froze, waiting for the next word, the next crack in the perfect facade. Samantha extended her hand toward Rachel, who rose from her seat, her bridesmaid bouquet still in hand.
I was asked to pretend? Your mother called me 3 days before she called you. I said no.
William's chair scraped backward. He stood, his face a landscape of betrayal.
Mom, what is she talking about?
Donna's mouth opened, but no defense came. Just a thin, strangled sound.
Rachel hasn't seen William in 6 years. There was no proposal, just my mother's need to control everything.
The room erupted, gasps, muffled curses, someone's champagne glass toppling, but Donna sat frozen, her nails digging into the tablecloth. William's eyes traveled from his mother's face to Samantha's, a dawning horror settling in.
You made this up. All of it.
Then Donna spoke. Not an apology, not a defense, just a single venomous word that silenced the room.
You know what that word was. Liar. But not me, Mom. You. So stand up, right now. Explain to everyone here what you told them.
The silence was absolute. Donna's chest heaved, but she did not rise.
Nothing? You had plenty to say on the phone.
Then, with a violence that rattled the silverware, Donna shoved her chair back and stood. Without a word, without a glance, she turned and walked stiffly toward the exit, her heels clicking like a death knell.
Mom! Mom!
Donna did not turn. The heavy wooden doors of the reception hall swung shut behind her with a final, echoing thud. For a long moment, no one moved. William stood frozen, staring at the doors, his expression unreadable. Then Samantha lowered the microphone, and the air in the room grew thick with the echo of what had just happened. The spell broke. William lurched forward, knocking over his chair, and sprinted toward the exit. The doors slammed behind him, leaving the hall in a vacuum of silence. Then, from a back table, a lone pair of hands began to clap, hesitant, then joined by another, then a cascade. Anthony moved first, climbing the stage steps 2 at a time and pulling Samantha into his arms.
It's over. You did it.
A shudder ran through her, the first crack in the armor she had worn for 6 weeks. Rachel climbed the opposite side and wrapped her arms around them both, forming a small, fierce huddle. The applause swelled, a strange mixture of awe and shame from guests who had believed the lie. But the empty chair at the family table and the doors William had vanished through held every gaze in the room. The party continued, but the real story was still unfolding outside those heavy wooden doors. Outside, beneath the harsh parking lot lights, Donna paused by her sedan, her hands gripping the door handle. William's footsteps rang out behind her.
Mom, stop. Don't you dare get in that car.
She spun, her face a twisted mask of fury and humiliation, the polished veneer finally gone.
Everything I did was for this family. You have no idea what I've sacrificed to keep us together.
You lied to everyone. You made me the center of a lie I knew nothing about. You tried to destroy my sister's wedding.
His voice cracked, but he stood his ground. The golden boy was seeing her clearly for the first time.
I'm done. No more. You will not manipulate me or anyone else I love ever again.
How dare you? After everything you're just like your father, abandoning me.
No. I'm just like Samantha. Brave enough to walk away. Goodbye, Mom.
He turned and walked back toward the reception, not looking back. The heavy wooden doors seemed different now, heavier with the truth he finally carried. When William pushed through the doors, his eyes were red, but his stride was steady. Every guest turned, but he only had eyes for Samantha. Samantha stepped off the stage and walked to him, her dress whispering across the floor. They met in the middle of the dance floor. Without a word, she pulled him into a fierce embrace. He buried his face in her shoulder, his shoulders shaking.
I'm sorry. I should have seen it sooner. I should have protected you.
You're here now. That's all that matters.
They stayed like that for a long moment, the rest of the room fading around them. The DJ softly played their song. Hours later, as the last guests trickled out, Samantha and Anthony gathered their things. Her phone buzzed on the table. The screen glowed with a message from William. I just told her I'm done. I love you. I'm sorry I didn't see this sooner. Samantha stared at the words, then her face crumpled, not with pain, but with relief. She turned the phone to Anthony. He read it and nodded, pulling her close. The weight of 6 weeks had finally lifted, replaced by the first real family she'd ever had. The next afternoon, sunlight streamed through the coffee shop windows as Samantha and Anthony slid into a booth across from William.
I don't know how to thank you or how to apologize enough. I should have seen what she was doing years ago.
You're here now, and that's what matters. She didn't just target me. She used you too.
So what now? For you, I mean, there's something else. I've been seeing someone. Her name is Sophia. We've been together for 2 years.
Samantha's coffee cup paused midair. She stared at him, then her face broke into a wide, incredulous smile.
2 years? And you never told anyone?
I was terrified she'd sabotage it. After what she tried with your wedding, I know I was right.
Then she's already lost. We're going to meet her, double date, next week.
William let out a breath he'd been holding for 2 years. Across the table, his sister was already planning their first real family dinner. 3 months later, on a crisp autumn morning, William and Sophia carried the last box into their sunlit apartment. The place smelled of fresh paint and promise. Sophia placed a small succulent on the windowsill, her gentle smile reflecting the light. That evening, Samantha and Anthony arrived with a houseplant and a bottle of wine. Sophia opened the door, her eyes warm.
It's so good to finally meet you properly. William hasn't stopped talking about you.
I feel like I know you already. Thank you for accepting me. I know how hard this family has been.
They settled onto mismatched furniture, pizza boxes open on a coffee table balanced on books. Laughter came easily.
Surviving our family game nights is a rite of passage. Sophia has already proven herself.
To new beginnings, and to families you choose.
To family.
Their glasses clinked. The echo filled the bare apartment with a warmth that no amount of decorating could buy. A week later, on their own couch, Samantha's phone lit up with a number she'd blocked weeks ago. The voicemail icon pulsed. She didn't listen. Instead, she held it up for Anthony to see before pressing delete.
She's not my problem anymore. You and our family are all I need.
So, what should we do this weekend? Double date with William and Sophia.
Definitely. I want to cook for them. That apartment needs a real meal.
They spent the rest of the evening planning a menu, the deleted voicemail already forgotten. Donna would try again and again, but every call met a wall of silence. The family she now had was not perfect, but it was real, built on truth, not manipulation. And for the first time in years, Samantha felt no guilt in her peace. The war was over. She had won. 2 weeks later, around a table cluttered with homemade pasta and wine, the five of them sat together for the first time since the wedding.
I still can't believe you pulled that off. The look on her face.
I'd do it again. Every single word. It was the only way to make the truth stick.
And next time, I'll hand her the mic. No more secrets.
To truth. And to sisters who aren't afraid to use a microphone.
Everyone rose, glasses clinking in a messy, joyful chorus.
To the Hayes Russo family. Version 2.0.
To family. The real kind.
They drank, and in that moment, Donna's shadow finally lifted from the room. The war was over, and at this table, the new family had already won. On a quiet Sunday afternoon, they returned to the reception hall where everything had changed. The tables were bare, the chairs stacked, but the memory of their wedding day clung to every corner.
Do you regret any of it?
Not 1 second. That microphone was the best gift I ever gave myself.
She squeezed his hand, the echo of her words still hanging in the empty hall. He pulled her closer, and they stood in the exact spot where she had faced down her mother's lie.
It brought my brother back. It gave William Sophia. It gave us our real family.
Then it was worth it all.
They kissed, soft and unhurried, the silence around them a gentle embrace. Outside, the world continued, but in that hollow space they had finally laid the last ghost to rest. In the end, Donna's greatest lie didn't ruin a wedding. It revealed a truth. That some bonds aren't defined by blood, but by who shows up when it matters. The lie had been forged to break them, but it had forged them into something unbreakable. Now, on their own porch, Samantha and Anthony watched the sun sink behind the trees.
This is enough. This is everything.
She leaned her head on his shoulder, the silence between them full and easy. A car passed, a bird called, the world went on, but they had learned to live in it without her shadow. And as the last gold bled into twilight, Samantha smiled. She'd won not because she fought back, but because she let go. They didn't need to speak. The swing creaked, the stars came out, and the chapter was finally closed. Months passed. The porch swing became a gathering place for more than just two. Some nights they grilled burgers. Some nights they just talked until the stars came out. Rachel and Sophia had become fast friends, often arriving together, arms full of groceries for impromptu dinners. William and Anthony would be found on the porch, discussing plans for a joint backyard cinema project. And Samantha would watch them, a glass of lemonade in her hand, marveling at the family she'd reclaimed. She thought of her mother less and less. The rage had cooled into indifference, and indifference into freedom. Donna was out there somewhere, but she was no longer a ghost, just a story that had lost its power. One evening, as the fireflies began to blink, the five of them gathered on the porch, not for a toast, but simply because they wanted to be together. Laughter rippled, conversations overlapped, and the night wrapped around them like a promise. This was the real thing. Not perfect, not polished, but durable. Built on the truth of a microphone, the courage to use it, and the family who chose to stand together when the world asked them to break. The porch grew quiet after they left. the swing swaying gently in the night breeze. The last firefly blinked out. Inside, the house hummed with the sound of a dishwasher and the distant murmur of a TV left on. Samantha paused by the railing, a single empty wine glass in her hand. She traced the rim, lost in thought.
I used to think family was an obligation. Now I know it's a choice, the only one that ever mattered.
She set the glass down on the wooden railing and turned toward the door, toward the warmth. Through the window, she saw Anthony on the couch, William and Sophia sharing a blanket, Rachel scrolling her phone. The picture was complete. Not a family tree drawn straight, but a garden she'd grown herself. She opened the door. The hinge creaked, and they all looked up, smiles widening, making room, and as the screen door clicked shut, the night swallowed all that was left of the old life, leaving only this. The quiet after the war was not an absence of sound. It was the sound of people who chose each other, choosing each other again. Samantha lingered on the porch a moment longer, the empty glass still in her hand, the laughter from inside washing over her like a tide. She thought of the lie that had started it all, and smiled. Not because it had hurt, but because it had led her here. The microphone was long gone, but its echo remained in the bond with her brother, in the family that gathered each weekend. She set the glass on the railing, her fingers tracing the wood, a silent promise to the house that had become home. Inside, Anthony caught her eye through the window and waved. She waved back, the space between them filled with a quiet, easy love. She pushed open the door. The warmth rushed out, and with it, the realization that this simple, beautiful chaos was hers. As she stepped inside, the screen door closed with a soft click, the sound sealing the past away for good. The night outside stretched on, vast and unknowable, but she didn't need the stars anymore. She had her own light. And in that light, she found the only truth that ever really mattered. Family is not a noun, it's a verb, a choice, a continuous act of love. The porch swung empty for a moment, then stilled. The house hummed with life, and somewhere in the quiet, a new tradition was beginning.